Hey, Alpine Church, in this week's Staff Spotlight video, we're going to take a look at John Bellis and his story. John and Rhonda have been up in Logan. John's our lead pastor up there. He's doing an awesome job. And he's also on our executive team, which means he gives leadership to some of the other staff members at Alpine Church. John is going to share a little bit about trusting God in the midst of sort of transitioning into ministry. I think you're going to love his story. So here's John Bellis.
Well, hey guys, as Pastor Brian said, I'm the lead pastor up at the Logan campus, heading into my fourth year now here in Logan. Just amazed at what God has been able to do in me as I've been in this role. But really, my call to ministry started about 12 years ago. Some foundational things happened in my relationship with God. There was a series of time where God over and over asked me if I really trusted him. In fact, it was to the point where I almost got frustrated with God because I was like, God, you know everything. You know if I trust you or not. I think I do, but only you know for sure. And one day I was heading into Logan. We live outside of Logan, about 10 miles. And in my vehicle, there was a song on the radio that talked about walking by faith, even when you can't see. And God clearly asked me, will you really do that? Will you really walk by faith when you don't see the road that I'm laying out before you? And I kind of broke down in the car. I was pretty emotional and just said, God, I trust you. And if I don't trust you, help me to trust you. Help me to trust you if I'm not there yet. Fast forward about 6 months down the road, our youngest daughter, Hannah, was born. And in the delivery room, the doctor said, hey, I need to tell you, I think your daughter has Down syndrome. And I remember right there in that moment, God saying, this is one of the reasons I asked if you trusted me. I've been getting you ready for this. I've been preparing you for this, and you can trust me. And I had more peace than I can even explain, even right there in the midst of that situation. Then fast forward a couple of years more, I was on staff part-time at Alpine. I was helping here at the campus. But my full-time job was in sales and recruiting. I'd been doing that for about 16 years. I had a fancy title, but it was straight commission. And so as a lot of those jobs go, some weeks for feast, some weeks for famine, it was kind of a grind for a long time. And then it started getting easy. The money started rolling in pretty regularly. Things were going well. And I distinctly remember coming home from a conference that had been really profitable. And I felt like God asked me again, do you trust me? And I remember calling my wife and saying, honey, I know it's been a grind. I know things are starting to get easy, but I really feel like God's going to call us to do something different. And within about 3 months of that, Pastor Chad, who was the former pastor here at the Logan campus, connected with me and said, hey, I think I'm going to be leaving this position. I'm feeling a different calling, and your name keeps coming up. And when he first asked, I was like, I don't think that's for me. And so as Rhonda and I talked about it, Rhonda said, didn't you think God kind of put on your heart that he's calling you into something new? And then out of the blue, at about the same time, a guy that I hadn't talked to in 4 years called me one day and he said, John, I know we haven't spoken in a while. I know this is going to seem weird, but I really feel like God's calling you into ministry. And so that was just one of many confirmations that happened over the next 6 months to 9 months as I assumed the role in Logan. And guys, I tell you, I've seen God to be faithful every step of the way. He's really built my faith in him through the experience. I love what he's doing here in Logan and at all of our campuses. God is on the move. He is faithful, and you can trust him.